What is human trafficking? Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. Male and female victims are exploited for their labor or forced to provide sexual acts for someone else's profit. Payment doesn't have to be in cash. It can be anything of value: money, drugs, food, shelter, clothing, accessories, increase in status, and more. Traffickers lure and control their victims through the use of force, fraud, and coercion. Anytime a child under the age of 18 is involved in the commercial sex industry or is in any harmful work environment, the child is being trafficked. Where does human trafficking take place? Labor trafficking can take place in industries such as agriculture, food service, manufacturing, domestic servitude, hospitality, nail salons, and massage parlors. Sex trafficking can include continuous sexual abuse, indecency with a child, sexual assaults, prostitution, promotion of prostitution, sexual performance by a child, including stripping, exotic dancing, and escorting, and possession or promotion of child pornography. Who are the traffickers in human trafficking? Traffickers can be anyone from any walk of life, any gender, race, or economic background. Teachers, counselors, coaches, friends, neighbors, relatives, businessmen and women, strangers, really anyone with access to vulnerable children or adults. Trafficking activities may include enticing, recruiting, harboring, transporting, providing access to the victim, receiving a benefit from the activity, or engaging in sexual activity with a trafficked child or adult. So what can you do? Educate yourself. Learn how to recognize human trafficking in our community. For Central Texas resources, contact us at Ark2Freedom.org or call us at the number shown here. Share what you learn. If you see something, say something. Report emergencies to 911 and tell them that you suspect human trafficking. Report non-emergencies to your local law enforcement and the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Now, go tell someone. You may be saving. How do I recognize sex trafficking in my daily life and profession? Remember, the sex trafficking victims, both male and female, are exploited into providing sexual acts for someone else's profit or pleasure. And the presence of force, fraud, or coercion does not need to be proven in cases with victims who are minors. There are 4 categories of red flags that you can use to identify potential sex trafficking victims: instability in life and relationships, belongings and physical health, trauma, and exploitation. Let's take a look at each category. Watch for these red flags of instability. Does the individual have a history of running away, foster care, homelessness, or couch surfing? Do they have a criminal record or a history of needing access to free services for food, shelter, hygiene, or medical care? They may use online dating sites, share personal or explicit photos or information online, and have romantic relationships with individuals that are not appropriate for their age. They may have multiple phones or change phone numbers frequently. If they already have family or friends who are known to be involved in trafficking, this is a red flag that they may be involved or are being groomed. Be alert for unexpected changes in belongings and poor maintenance of health. Does the individual have access to large amounts of cash, credit cards, hotel keys, phones, expensive clothing, or accessories that are not consistent with their family's means? Are they dressing appropriately for weather or situations? They may be tested repeatedly for pregnancy or STDs or STIs, or have health problems related to a lack of sleep. They may show signs of malnutrition or not eating often enough. Watch for these physical and emotional red flags of trauma. Are there signs of physical abuse or assault, sexual abuse, or emotional abuse? Do you see physical signs such as bruises, scars, cigarette burns, or broken bones? They might also exhibit self-destructive behaviors, hypervigilance, or be easily startled. Notice if the individual exhibits signs that they are being controlled, threatened, tricked, or directly exploited and victimized. Is the individual staying with someone they don't know well? Does someone who is not their parent take them on travels or places that they aren't familiar with? Do their tattoos or scars suggest that they are someone else's property? They may have a prior history of sexual exploitation or abuse. They may talk about exchanging sex for money. What can you do? Educate yourself. Learn how to recognize human trafficking in your community. For Central Texas resources, contact us at Ark2Freedom.org or at the number shown here. Share what you learn. You are a mandated reporter. If you suspect minor sex trafficking, you must report it to CPS. Report emergencies to 911 and tell them that you suspect human trafficking. Report non-emergencies to your local law enforcement and the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Now, go tell someone. You may be saving someone's life.
You how I became so passionate about this cause that I decided to become the director of the organization Ark2Freedom. So one day, I was working a human trafficking event, and I happened to be volunteering alongside one of my past students. Towards the end of the event, I asked her why she was interested in human trafficking. And she informed me that she herself had been trafficked from 7th grade to 12th grade. For 2 years, I had her in my class and in the gym as her coach. And I never saw the signs. And for me, that was devastating. And in my research, I've learned that 74% of trafficking victims in America are girls of color who enter into the world of human trafficking during their school age years. I believe we can make an impact on changing those numbers through education. So I want to work with you to reach young girls and boys before the traffickers approach them, before the traffickers get to them and get to their minds, and equip them with tools and educate them to avoid being trapped in a world of exploitation. I want to see our kids all of our kids feel fulfill their purpose.